What's up, everybody? Just want to make a little slightly different video, as today personally I struggled a little bit with psychology, and I just want to shift your whole perspective with this topic because something I learned from a very minuscule percentage of traders is the fact that while trading like a robot and not having emotions is promoted and seen as the expectation, you're going to have emotions and you're just going to have to learn how to deal with them and understand that it's not the having the emotions that's the issue, although you will grow to be immune and almost numb. However, there's no point in which you just don't have them. You are human. So I just want you to take what I want you to take away from this video is the fact that it's not you having these emotions in the first place. It's what you decide to do with them. That is the important thing. What's up, everybody? I just wanted to make a quick little recap of today's price action and how I performed today. So let's get started with the 4 hour. We see that we are in bullish order flow. However, we swept these highs and we have an SMT at the highs with these bullish P areas being unable to distribute higher. So, and a super viable intermediate lows below. So we have valid sell side liquidity, valid buy side liquidity, but I'm mainly looking at this 1 hour condition, and we got data highs right here at this wick. So at this point, I am honestly leaning super bearish. I want to be bullish, but unfortunately conditions just aren't the way. And so we scale down to the 15 and we see that price actually not only swept the data high on open, but we were already generated pre-market liquidity and targets leading up to the intermediate high and gaps below. So in addition, we also mitigated an unmitigated 15-minute gap as well as the 1 hour efficiency. So that's just extra conviction that we are so painfully bearish. However, I didn't take an inversion out of this, mainly due to the RR being really bad and because it was like 1 minute into price action and I just didn't want to take a trade that soon. There was a 30-second, but they were all mostly mechanically invalid in my opinion. However, there was this 3 minute right here. I don't know if you can see, we're in the 3 minute time frame. There was a 3 minute short that I actually think is super viable, super A plus, and I know a lot of people took it. If you took anything else, honestly, super psychological. Like, it was a super psych error in my opinion, because unless you're super profitable or like making like at least like 50K a month, having those consistent ass payouts, you shouldn't be really. I've gotten payouts and I don't make those decisions. Like, those discretionary ass plays, honestly, super invalid, and in the long run are gonna hurt you and are just, it's just FOMO towards an obvious draw. Sure, it's an obvious draw, but you should still not rely on discretion to get in. So with the model, if you didn't see this 3 minute, you shouldn't have been shorting anywhere in here. Everything else is pretty invalid unless you take like a 1 minute or like, I know there was like a 1 minute inversion off of maybe this rejection block. You could interpret it as that. I think that's more viable. Yeah, I think this is more viable. Rejection block, maybe CISD plus inversion, valid inversion as well. So I think this is a little better, I suppose. But I would still put my solid loss at the CE of the RR, which it would be the same thing as taking the 3 minute. Now, after, we are just ripping. And at this point, I'm probably going to leave market. I don't really care about it. I could have maybe taken a mech here if we took the intermediate low. I wasn't really thinking of actually going with the, like, actually executing in the market at this point. So, but then at 10:30, we actually make this 10:30 gap. And we manipulate right into it, getting a stop hunt. And honestly, I love this trade and I take it. It's super A plus, but I de-risked just because honestly today was like super emotional after all that happened, and I was already just looking for an excuse to get out. So when the setup presented itself, it was more like a fuck. Like, this is so perfect that I can't ignore it. But I really wanted to. So what did I do? I de-risked, but price was just kind of chopping at these. And I honestly just didn't really feel good. So on most of my XFAs, I did get out of the trade. I asked myself, like, would I be mad if this lost? And I was like, low-key, yeah, due to conditions and such. But honestly, next time, I'm going to just hold if I'm already in and just annotate it afterwards. Because the setup was super A+. It was just more of a mental thing, but I still held on one. And it went break even, so regardless, it would have been a break even trade. But yeah, this is the 1 minute inversion. No, wait. Yeah, I think this is it. Yes, okay. This is the 1 minute inversion that I took, and yeah. I think it actually did hit to the 1-to-1, so I actually think I would have cashed. But regardless, I don't care. I'm trying not to care, at least. This is mainly due to how we left underlying liquidity and had a reason to actually sweep lower. But yeah, just super, super great price action, honestly. Just super unfortunate. And